You literally, coaching malpractice, you pulled the ball out of your hot quarterback's hands, and you told me you felt good about hot going in on the first 2-point conversion, but it didn't work. Kevin, it was coaching malpractice, and you've been the 2-time coach of the year, and you're a hell of a football coach. Your front office, you've been dealt with some shit there in Cleveland, but now you made the right decision. The quarterback's playing well. Why take it out of his hands? Why? Why not give him a chance?
I don't like him being pulled out of the game on 2-point conversions, especially when you're intending to throw the damn football. I don't like any of the stuff that I've seen in Cleveland.
The Cleveland Browns just gave us another masterclass in how to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. And this time, the culprit wasn't an injury, wasn't bad luck, and sure as hell wasn't the rookie quarterback who was balling out all game long. No, this one's on the coaching staff, specifically on head coach Kevin Stefanski and offensive coordinator Tommy Rees, who orchestrated what might be the most baffling, most mind-numbing, most absolutely inexplicable 2-point conversion call of the entire NFL season.
Deserve a coaching job, for God's sake. They know what you're doing. No one's throwing the ball. And when Quinshaw threw the ball, it almost got intercepted. It's a fucking joke.
Picture this. Your rookie 5th-round quarterback, Shedeur Sanders, just threw you back into a game against the Tennessee Titans. He's been under pressure all day, shown composure beyond his years, thrown 3 touchdowns, ran in another, and pushed your lifeless Browns team from what looked like certain defeat into a position to tie or potentially win the game. The kid's feeling it. He's in rhythm, he's making reads, extending plays, and doing everything you could possibly ask from a quarterback making his 3rd career start. Over 350 yards through the air, 4 total touchdowns. This is the kind of performance that gets you named starter for the rest of the season, which Stefanski did the very next day. But here's where it gets absolutely ridiculous. Cleveland scores a touchdown. They're down 2 points. The game is on the line. You need a 2-point conversion to tie it up and send this thing to overtime. Your hot quarterback just marched you down the field. The momentum is screaming in your direction. Every piece of conventional football wisdom, every instinct a coach should have is telling you one thing: put the ball in your quarterback's hands and let him make a play. And what does Kevin Stefanski do? He pulls Shedeur Sanders out of the game, completely, off the field, standing on the sideline watching some Wildcat formation nonsense that had 0 chance of working against an NFL defense that's already seen you telegraph this garbage from a mile away. Let that sink in for a second. Your rookie 5th-round quarterback just put on a clinic, and when it matters most, when the entire game hangs in the balance, you don't trust him enough to even be on the field.
I mean, Shedeur Sanders played great football yesterday. He missed some early on. He was under 50%, then got going, threw 3 and ran 1, got him going. He was greatly responsible for pushing them back into this game under duress. Was calm, was the most calm I've seen him in his, 3 starts or whatever it's been now, 4 starts.
The play itself was a disaster from conception to execution. They ran some Wildcat package with a player who doesn't know how to read NFL coverage, who's never had to make those split-second decisions under center, and you're asking him to process defensive looks and make the right throw in the biggest moment of the game? Former NFL quarterback Salisbury absolutely lost it when breaking down this decision, and honestly, he's not wrong. This is the kind of coaching decision that gets debated in film rooms and used as an example of what not to do in critical situations.
Now, I want to ask you, in a game situation like this, how many teams, and I know he's not Mahomes, and I know he's not Josh Allen, but I know he was having a game that said momentum and the way he's feeling it, put the ball in the quarterback's hands. Why do I want a guy who doesn't know how to read coverage, a running back, or a receiver in a Wildcat, or a tight end when he gets...
Here's the thing that makes this even more infuriating. This wasn't Stefanski's first rodeo with questionable 2-point conversion calls in this very game. Earlier, when they were down 14, they went for 2 instead of kicking the extra point. That's fine, you're chasing points, trying to be aggressive. But this one, this critical game-defining moment, you abandon your quarterback? The defensive coordinator for Tennessee had to be laughing his ass off. When you pull your quarterback and bring in some Wildcat package, every defender on that field knows something weird is coming. They're not committing to the rush. They're hanging back, reading and reacting, waiting for the trick play that's written all over your formation. And that's exactly what happened. The Browns ran their cute little play, the defense wasn't fooled for even a millisecond, and the throw that resulted was so poorly executed that it had no chance from the moment it left the non-quarterback's hand.
That's like sending somebody throwing them off a boat in a dinghy and taking their engine or their oar away from them. They can't row. And there's a storm coming.
The analogy is perfect. You're putting your team in an impossible situation by removing the one weapon that's been working all game long. It's not just bad coaching, it's actively sabotaging your own chances to win. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Some people jumped on social media trying to defend Stefanski by pointing out that he doesn't call the plays anymore. Tommy Rees is the offensive coordinator. He's the one making the play calls. But that defense holds as much water as a sieve.
You are aware that no situational football ever gets run, whether the head coach is calling the play or it's the coordinator, ever gets run. You'll never run a two-point conversion. Tommy Rees says, two-point conversion, give me the Wildcat, get in there. You will always approve that with the head coach. So,
you know what situational football is? It's those critical moments, those two-point conversions, those fourth down decisions, those end-of-game scenarios. Those decisions never happen without the head coach signing off on them. Never. Not in Cleveland, not in Kansas City, not anywhere in the NFL. Kevin Stefanski himself took full responsibility for the call after the game, which at least shows some accountability. But taking responsibility doesn't make the decision any less catastrophic. It doesn't bring back the win. It doesn't erase the message you just sent to your rookie quarterback who just balled out for you. And that message? I don't trust you when it matters most. Think about what that does to a young player's confidence. Shedeur Sanders just had the best game of his young NFL career. He proved he belongs on that field. He showed poise, accuracy, decision-making, and heart. And then when the game is on the line, when he should be the hero or the guy who learns from coming up short, he's watching from the sideline like some backup who didn't earn his playing time.
I don't like the way he was treated. I don't like the procrastination in terms of getting him some reps that he needed before he was thrown into a game in the third quarter when Dylan Gabriel went down. I don't like the hesitancy on the part of Kevin Stefanski and naming him the starter for the rest of this season when you know you got nothing.
Stephen A. Smith didn't hold back either when discussing Cleveland's treatment of their rookie quarterback. And he's hitting on something crucial here. This isn't just about one play call. This is about a pattern of mismanagement that's been plaguing Shedeur Sanders since he arrived in Cleveland. The broader context makes this even worse. Cleveland has been an absolute quarterback cemetery. This is the 11th starting quarterback under Kevin Stefanski in just 4 years. 11! That's not a typo. That's not an exaggeration. 11 different quarterbacks have started games for this man in 4 seasons.
This is the 11th starting quarterback under Kevin Stefanski in 4 years.
11.
11.
Let that number sink in. 11 starting quarterbacks in 4 years. That's almost 3 per season. That's not just bad luck. That's not just injuries. That's a systematic failure to develop, trust, and stick with quarterback talent. At some point, you have to stop blaming the players and start looking at the system. Sure, the Deshaun Watson trade handcuffed the organization financially and cost them draft picks. Yes, that was a disaster of epic proportions. But we're talking about a pattern here, a pattern of mismanagement that goes beyond just one bad trade.
Through these 4 games has shown that he deserved to be the starter, which he is for the rest of the season, and he has 8 games to show this organization that I should be the #1 guy going into next year.
Baker Mayfield couldn't make it work in Cleveland under Stefanski, and now he's thriving in Tampa Bay. That should tell you something. The talent was there, the ability was there, but something about the Cleveland system, something about how they develop and deploy their quarterbacks just doesn't work.
With all of the things that's worked against Shedeur Sanders, I'm proud of the young man for what he's done up until this point. Playing well.
So
Look, we know the Tennessee Titans ain't world beaters. We know that he didn't play the most staunchest of defenses against the Las Vegas Raiders and the Titans, but preparation showed that he can.
And now here comes Shedeur Sanders, a fifth-round pick with something to prove, showing out in his limited opportunities. And what does he get? He gets benched on the most important play of the game in favor of some gimmick play that had a snowball's chance in hell of working. The frustration isn't just coming from hot take artists or armchair quarterbacks on Twitter. These are respected NFL voices, former players, seasoned analysts who understand the game at the highest level. And they're all saying the same thing. This was inexcusable.
Kevin, it was coaching malpractice, and you've been the two-time coach of the year, and you're a hell of a football coach. Your front office, you've been dealt with some shit there in Cleveland, but now you've made the right decision. The quarterback's playing well. Why take it out of his hands?
The phrase coaching malpractice isn't thrown around lightly. That's a serious indictment of a decision-making process. And when you break down what happened, it's hard to argue against that characterization. The irony is almost poetic. The day after this debacle, Stefanski named Sanders the starter for the rest of the season. 4 games to prove himself. 4 games to show the organization whether he's the future or just another name on the long list of Cleveland quarterback failures. But here's the question nobody seems to be asking. Is Cleveland even the right place for a young quarterback to develop? With this kind of decision-making in crucial moments, with a head coach who cycled through 11 starters in 4 years, with an organization that seems allergic to quarterback stability.
Yes, he's a 2-time coach of the year.
Yeah.
All right. And by the way, in the interest of full disclosure, all right, I'm very good friends with his daddy, who's an NBA executive. Okay. I've known Ed Stefanski for many, many years. I have love for this man, which is why I root for Kevin Stefanski. Okay. But the reality is, I mean, damn, when do I get to look at you?
Even Stephen A., who has personal ties to the Stefanski family, can't defend this one. That's how bad it was. When even your friends are questioning your decisions, you know you've crossed the line. The odds are stacked against Shedeur Sanders, not because he lacks talent, not because he can't play, but because he's trying to succeed in an environment that has broken every signal caller who's walked through those doors in the last 2 decades. Cleveland fans deserve better. They've been through enough. They've watched their team draft bust after draft bust, sign bad contract after bad contract, and make mind-boggling decision after mind-boggling decision. They finally have a young quarterback showing real promise, real potential, real NFL caliber play. And their coaching staff pulls him out of the game when it matters most. Sean Salazar's rant wasn't just about one play. It was about a pattern of dysfunction. It was about a franchise that continues to shoot itself in the foot. It was about a coaching staff that, despite having a 2-time coach of the year at the helm, still can't seem to figure out the most important position in sports. Shedeur Sanders will get his 4 games to prove himself. He'll probably show flashes of brilliance mixed with rookie mistakes. He'll face adversity and hopefully overcome it. But the real question isn't whether Shedeur can play in the NFL. The real question is whether Cleveland can finally give a quarterback the support, trust, and consistent decision-making he needs to succeed. Based on Sunday's 2-point conversion disaster, the answer's looking pretty bleak.